Day 2 of the Pittsburgh Steelers mandatory minicamp practice is officially in the books. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations from yet another day here in Pittsburgh for practice. And in this video, I wanted to pretty much break down everything you need to know about day 1 and day 2 practices. Now, before we get into this video, by the way, I will be dropping another Steelers video tomorrow, kind of breaking down 5 players who have really, upticked their stock and maybe moved up the depth chart so far, so make sure you guys are ready for that. But also, before we jump into the video, do me a big favor. I wanted to give a major shout out to all of the Steelers media members out there who work so hard every single day to get these highlights out for us and, kind of enable us to make these videos. Right, so big shout out to them. Without them, these videos are not possible to make. So go follow them on Twitter. They will keep you updated with all the highlights in real time when practice is going on, especially for training camp. So make sure you guys do me that favor. And with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video a little bit and talk about, another day here in Pittsburgh for the Steelers practice. Now, the one guy who has been, pretty much breaking out throughout the entirety of OTAs and mandatory minicamp is Calvin Austin. This dude has been, light years ahead of where he was last season, and I feel like every time I make a Steelers video, I always bring up his name because it's truly every single practice he's sticking out more and more and more, doing the little things, creating separation, catching the footballs that come his way. This dude is going to be a unit this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I love him paired up with Russell Wilson. I'm very curious to see, if this can continue on into not only training camp, but preseason and regular season too. Right now, he is showcasing some amazing talent, chemistry with both the quarterbacks. I just want to see if he can keep this up. Now, another thing I'm very curious to see is Peyton Wilson. He has been really, really, really good, and they honestly think he's got a shot to be a day 1 starter for this team. I'm very curious to see if he can continue that, and if that will translate to training camp and preseason, regular season as well. But with all of that being said, let's talk about day 1 of practice, and I'll tell you a couple of guys who look good. Justin Fields. It's crazy because I feel like these quarterbacks both look really, really good. For whatever reason, the Steelers might have the best quarterback room in football. Compared to last season, it's so much different and so much better. And again, I know it's just a mandatory minicamp. There's no contact. There's, no contact in pads and whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be able to make throws. And Justin Fields making some really good throws, but also showcasing his size, his speed, his elusiveness. And you know what? I think that in practice, you can't really, fully showcase those abilities, but he's doing it still, right? At the same time, you're not getting hit by, the defensive ends or the D tackles or anyone who's coming into the back. Nobody's hitting you because you're the quarterback, right? And quite honestly, even in training camp, you won't see that as well. So obviously, we have to wait until preseason to really see how good of a QB he's going to be. But right now, he's making some good throws. He's definitely leading by example. And then you have Russell Wilson, who's kind of leading by, vocally and by example as well. So definitely love this quarterback room. Justin Fields is definitely someone who has looked good in my eyes and multiple media members' eyes as well. Another a UDFA this time who has, continued to impress is Beanie Bishop. Now, things were interesting a couple of weeks ago because that nickel role was really up for debate. We didn't really know who was going to win that job. And actually, before we get into that, do me a big favor. Hit the like button. More importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Guys, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and you won't regret it because we will be covering the Steelers throughout the entirety of the offseason, not only mandatory minicamp, the video dropping tomorrow, but also training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you can think of. We've got you guys covered. Join the family, turn on post notifications, and lastly, make sure you guys follow my Twitch for more Steelers live streams. Going to be breaking down film during the season on Twitch. We're going to be doing so many things covering the NFL on my Twitch. It's Matty Dubs with 3 S's or You can find the link in the description below. Now, going back to what I was saying, the nickel role for this team was so interesting a couple of weeks ago because we really didn't know who was going to be the starting nickel of this team. And there was a lot of guys starting to really play well with Darius Rush and, Thomas Graham and Beanie Bishop, right? But Beanie Bishop is a UDFA who is working his way up this depth chart and really trying to make this football team. And I do think he will. It might not be as the 53-man roster, but I think at the very least, he'll be a practice squad candidate because of how good he's been throughout the last couple of weeks here at camp. But now that they've added Cam Sutton, it kind of, makes things a little bit more difficult for him because Cam Sutton is a very good slot cornerback in the NFL. Last year with the Detroit Lions, he was really bad. But they also try to play him as an outside boundary corner because they had Brian Branch. But you stick him back in the slot, I think he could be a really productive cornerback for them and potentially even their go-to starter once again. Now, Najee Harris was not at practice on Tuesday, but did come to practice on Wednesday, but didn't participate. Now, in terms of Mike Tomlin talking about this situation particularly, he said that there's nothing to worry about. Najee is fine. He'll get it going by training camp, and they fully expect him to be ready by training camp. I don't know what the issue is, why he missed Tuesday's practice, and I don't know why he wasn't able to practice today. But what we do know is he should be good to go for training camp. Now, with him being out, there is other guys getting a lot of reps. Aaron Champlin is one of them that's been standing out. Now, another interesting part of this running back room is a lot of guys are standing out. One, Cordell Patterson yesterday had a big day of practice, right? A couple of weeks ago, Juwan Edwards looked really, really good and looked like he had that burst, looseness, speed, right? And now it's Aaron Champlin. So there's a bunch of running backs here under this Arthur Smith run team or offense, I should say, right? All these running backs are looking really, really good, and the running back depth is really important to have, especially when you're in a run-heavy type of offense. So definitely big news that they've added some more weapons here in the running back room with Michael Pirine, Jonathan Ward, but also the guys that they had before are also playing pretty well in practice at the same time. Now, they did have a tryout player, I believe today and yesterday, in Jade Peavy. He's a defensive tackle. I believe he was Tennessee Titans D-tackle for the past couple of years. He is here right now working with the team. I don't know if they're going to sign him yet, but we'll see over the next few days if they can, come to an agreement with a deal for him. Another thing to take away is Troy Fautanu is a monster. This dude is the real deal. He's been impressing everyone since the day he's came in here to Pittsburgh. The man has... It just seems like he's not a rookie. I mean, he is just becoming that type of guy here at the tackle position. I mean, him and Broderick Jones look like they could be massive for this team going forward. So definitely excited about that. But great day 2 of practice. I'll be back tomorrow for another big video for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next Steelers update. Peace.